everyone to the AvaTrade live Q&A webinar. My name is Danny and I will be giving you the webinar today. As you know, as always, we are going to go through a little sound check to make sure that everything is okay from the sound. Just a second. I'll also check it on my end, even though a minute ago it worked. Oh, it should work. Okay, it should work. If the sound falls in the middle of the webinar from any reason, if the volume is not okay, just let me know and hopefully I can fix it. Okay, in the meantime, we'll explain how the webinar will happen. So like I said, this is a live Q&A webinar. The purpose of it is to let you guys ask whatever questions you want along the webinar, hopefully to assist you with your journey with us. Okay, and the webinar will happen in few stages. First, we'll have the previous questions. Those are questions that we received, common questions that we received regarding other webinars and previous live Q&A and other webinars. And we have dynamic questions, which are questions that you guys, like I said, will ask along the webinar. And then we'll have this part is a little more informative. I'm going to send you the links here to save you the trouble to look for certain things. And lastly, analysis, okay? But as I already saw, some questions here are evolved with analysis, so it wouldn't make sense to delay too much about analysis. So we'll see how it goes with the questions, and then we'll carry on with ease. Okay. Any capital markets and trading information disclosed in this webinar is provided for informative purposes only and should not be constructed or applied as an investment advice, recommendation, or suggestion. Guys, I have to let you know that the webinar is recorded. So that means that if you need to see another explanation again, or you forgot something, or you just want to see the webinar again from any other reason, you can find it conveniently in our channel on YouTube. The AvaTrade channel on YouTube. Typically, we upload it on the same day. Sometimes it's a bit more than that, but hopefully today is not going to be different. Okay, and like I said, we're gonna just a second. Yes, you already saw the question about the leverage. So we're gonna go through that. Yes, of course. First, let me just make sure that the webinar is recorded just a few moments, and then I'll be back and we will begin. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, it seems like everything is okay. So we're simply gonna open the presentation and hit the road. Okay. Okay, so like I said, this is the live Q&A. Regardless of the subject that I'm teaching, if something is, if there are any questions, really feel free to ask. Don't hesitate. So the first question that we have today is, how can I use the leverage? How do we use the leverage? Let's see. Now there is a question here. There is a question about the margin. To know how to know what news are related to which asset. Okay, how to know how much money is needed for a position. Yeah, it makes sense. So that will go along with the question about the leverage. We'll see how though. We'll see how it will work together. There is a question by MD Ashwan or Ahsan, right? How negative balance protection works. Okay, that's good. Just a second. Oh, let me actually paste it. I'll paste it down there at the presentation. There you go. In general, though, the way that it works is you need a certain amount of margin. Sorry, you need to sustain a certain amount of a certain level of margin to keep your position open. So when you reach a certain level that is required, we all begin in 100, right? You see, since I have got no positions, let me pick an asset. It doesn't really matter. You see, the idea is that my margin now is in 100% because I have got no positions. When I'm going to take a position, my margin level will go up and down according to the profits that I'll make. In other words, if I'm making profits, my margin level will go higher, and then my margin will go higher because I've got more money and I'm making profits. If it's the other way around and my margin drops, it can drop even to a minus. Okay, my margin can go to a minus, but my level is not going to reach the stop out level. How does the stop out level work? It works with the leverage. Okay, if my leverage is 1 to 30, what my collateral is 3. Okay, we'll get to that. But how does the negative balance protection works? It means that you can get into minus and you're not going to be in any debt to the company. Okay, can be in a minus without getting in debt. Okay, and able to sustain the position until the stop out level. That's margin. That's the minimum margin level. And that's basically how it works. The company takes care of that. Okay. Now, the questions that we had, okay, can I use the leverage and the other one with how much money? So this is margin, that's easy to fulfill. Let's find ourselves a nice asset to work with, like wheat, apparently. Right? Nobody expected that, including myself. Wheat. Okay. On a nutshell, before we will begin, just so we will know where we are standing, right? This is the web trader. This is an interface that doesn't require you to download anything or install anything. It's straight through the browser. You just go log in with your email and password and it works. Now, the way that I picked up wheat was maybe manual through the lists here. I had to go down to commodities and agriculture and pick wheat, but I could just as much put wheat here, just pick it from the list, right? Then it's going to pop here. Okay, and the way that I've made, so it was this way. I don't know if you noticed, it was this way in the beginning. I clicked on the 2 arrows to minimize that. Okay, and then I click on the buy and the sell. One of them, both of them can open here this nice sidebar. Okay, and in this side, you can see there are certain things written here. There is the value. We'll learn what it means in a minute. Margin, impact, leverage, and spread. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna answer both of those questions with the same explanation. How is this possible? Let's see. Price per unit. First, the advisable thing to do is to write the name of the asset, right? Guys, what is the price per unit for wheat? $5.57. Thank you, Rajan. Okay, so like Rajan said here, $5.57 is the price per unit. What is the unit? The unit is a unit of wheat, right? Okay, so how many units are we with a buy? Yeah. How many units are we buying? I'll give you a hint. Let's make it 0.1, right? Let's make it 0.1. We'll understand in a minute what it means. How many units do we buy, guys? How many are we buying? 10. How does that work? How does that work? Lot size is a measuring unit, meaning one lot can be equal to 10, one lot can be equal to 100, one lot can be equal to 1,000. It could be also equal to 10,000, 100,000, and that's pretty much what we have to know for now. Okay, the way that this works is very, very simple. I'm going to show you now the trick. And with this trick, you will know how to do it in the future. This is the easiest one. 1 unit versus $1 equals $1. Okay, if we go a little higher, 0.01 equals 10 units versus $1 equals $1. If we go with that, that means this is already 100 units versus $1 equals $1. In here, it will work the same idea, although the movements are in pips. So that means if $1 equals a dollar, 10 cents equals 10 cents. Okay. And of course, in here, that will have to be, sometimes you can't even do it. This will have to be 10% of a unit. Okay. Now, why is that even important? Why must I know all of those stories? Because when I take 0.01 with wheat, right? Let's suppose that this would have been the case. I don't have to think too much. This is the price. This is how much it's worth. Again, this is a 1 unit value. Yeah, I'm not multiplying it by anything. It's just for itself. So if this is the price up here, and I'm looking at something called leverage. What exactly the leverage is doing? The leverage is multiplying. What is it multiplying? Our buying and selling power, right? So the units in this case, 0.1 equals 10, right? Okay, let's make it 10. Okay, and that means that 557 multiplied 10 equals 5,570. Okay, this is so far the value. Value equals 557. Sorry, this is a little higher than that. There we go. Now the leverage is, what is it doing? The leverage is multiplying multiplying buying and selling power. Yeah, it's very simple. So if the leverage is 1 to 10, that means that our value can be divided by how much? By how much, guys? Let's see if you understood. Oh, sorry, that's the margin impact. Okay, so the margin impact works in a very simple way. Value divided by leverage equals margin impact, which is the necessary amount to open a position. Right? Is that understood? This is the necessary amount, guys, to open a position. Okay, is that understood? Do we have any questions so far? Any questions? Raul, you're asking how to use it? How to use the leverage? Okay, but the way that you're using it is by, you can't really choose not to use the leverage because it's embedded in the platform. What you can choose is if to have enough capital not to rely on the leverage, but you will be using it anyways. I saw it's embedded in the system, right? It's embedded in the system, and therefore we are using leverage here. This is the nature of contract for difference. Contract for difference, CFDs, are leveraged trading. Look, any other asset that I'll pick could be different though. Could be different. See, 1 to 20. With Apple, it might be something else. You see, but it's always here. It's always here. If I don't want to trade with leverage, I need a special arrangement. Otherwise, by default, it's in the system. Okay. Any other questions though, before I'll carry on? Anybody else? This is your chance, guys. I'm getting paid to give you this webinar, to give you the opportunity to ask what you want. But let's carry on. If there are no questions, let's carry on for more questions. So we got this one sorted, and we got that one sorted, because this is actually the margin impact, the needed for the position. So we're going to put down the equation down at the presentation. How can I use the leverage? We already know that. Okay. AvaTrade providing CFDs platforms. Okay, I shouldn't write it because we have obviously other platforms, not only CFDs, but WebTrader and MT4 and MT5. CFDs platforms. The leverage is built in the system. In other words, guys, yeah, let me check it this way. Maybe it should be CFDs. Should work pretty much. Oh, there we go. So to use it, we're using it. The question is if we rely on it, that's completely something else. What was the other question we took here? Needed for a position. Okay, so the needed amount for a position is called margin impact or requirement. Okay. Which is the necessary amount. Okay, no need. Let's go. Okay, and I'm gonna put you the equation here, which is the value divided by leverage. Leverage equals margin impact or the necessary amount to open a position. Okay, nice. Let's put it this way. Okay. Okay, how to know what news are related to which assets? Oof, that's okay. Who knows the answer for this questions, guys? This question is splitting fire, right? How do you know? Sorry, how to know what news are related to which assets? Okay, this is not an easy one. This is not an easy one. Anybody likes to try? Anybody wants to try to answer that one? You can find it on the calendar. Well, thank you, Dave. I don't think that the question here refers to where I must find it. I think that the question here refers to how to connect the news to which assets. That means that if I see something, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's see. Perhaps we can find an angle that we can get this sorted. Okay. Of course, I'm kidding. Of course, I have the solution. It's very simple. Look, guys, you see that when you're looking at our news section, okay, what can you do? You can filter it by what's relevant for you, right? Here you refresh, here you close it. You don't want to do that now. Okay, if you do, it's gonna drop you out. Okay. Now, let's suppose that I'm looking at oil as an example. Okay, so what is this related to? This is related to obviously oil, right? If I'm looking at an Asian market indices, HK50, right? So I have two assets. If it's gold, well, that might not be entirely because you can find, you see, well, I guess that there is no easy way. I guess you just need to read. You just need to read in the article and see in the article where the connection is. You're not going to see that if you rely solely on this. And I gotta tell you guys, this oh, there we go. You see Bitcoin there. Oh, sorry. What is it? The pre-Asia market brief. Oh, okay. You see those are nice things. Those are very nice things. You see this is a nice combination of several things that has an impact together, and it can assist you trading different things, right? Not just a single thing. Okay, so you must find your own area where you find convenient, you feel convenient, and when you read through the things here, it can show you physically here, and it can show you on the article itself what the connection is. I don't know how to generically answer this question because which news into which asset? Basically, there is no formula to make this connection. You gotta physically read and know. I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, but the thing is that if you read enough and you look at enough articles, you make the connection by itself, and you can also Google it. You can Google it. What is the gold related to? You're gonna see some connection with the dollar, some connection with different things. Oil also have obviously connection with the dollar. All kind of sub connections, not directly to the asset itself. It's not something I can write an answer to. I can just say, how can I say it? Okay, sometimes the article point on a specific specific connection, and sometimes there are how can I put it without being too specific, and sometimes there are parallel, I don't want to put it this way, and sometimes there are additional connections, not necessarily, just a second, to the field of the asset itself. I hope it makes sense. So that means that gold is an example. When gold is moving, or silver, both of them are safe havens. Maybe gold is a little more familiar. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so you see that the dollar is responding to, sorry, what am I saying? When the dollar is not doing great, so metals like gold and silver and other safe havens has a tendency to respond to that, right? How on earth gold, which we know that assets are based on supply and demand. So how exactly the dollar has an impact on gold? Because gold by its nature is a safe haven that exists since thousands of years as a prestige metal, and people has tendency to run where? To a safe haven which still exists, like gold. This is why gold always surpassed the 2000 level. No, I shouldn't say always surpassed. Recently surpassed. Recently, okay. Well, I can't even say that. But in the past year or two, has passed the 2000 mark when the economy has reached to an extreme condition. Otherwise, gold has never been there. Yeah, it's never been there. You can check the, let me show you. Only now, in those chaotic times which we are experiencing, so gold okay, I'm not sure we're gonna see that. Oh, there we go. That's nice. You see the 2000 mark was reached when the economy was in extreme condition, whether if it's good or bad. When they started printing money, so it declined. When the interest rate was rising, so you can see that it also supposedly in the beginning it was good, and then inflation kicked in, and then we tried and stabilized it. If you remember, it happened 9 or 10 times. I think nine times. It's been increased compoundingly in the past few years. It wasn't at this rate just like that. At first there was a little segment, and then they increased it a little bit more. And anyway, that you can see it. Gold, I guess, looks this way. Let's see silver. Not gonna be surprised if yeah, it doesn't look the same, but let's see if we can. One of the nice things that we have in the platform is that we can well, something doesn't make sense. This chart looks different because of the ATR now. Okay. How is this? Oh, there we go. We are on days. It doesn't look exactly the same. It doesn't really look exactly the same. You see some positions here, some variations here looks a bit different, but in general they do. In general, you see it spiked, it went down here. Yeah. Anyway, the point is that this question about how can we possibly know how to make the connection between the news to which asset is not really something, unfortunately, that I can teach, because it's a matter of experience. It's a matter of making the connection ongoing while you read the news, while you understand these things. It's a bit more difficult than okay. Okay. What other questions do we have? How can I get an account manager? How can I get? Okay, this very simple. Go to the live chat and ask for account manager assignment, right? That's it. Oh, you gotta make a deposit though. You gotta make a deposit, sorry. And go to the live chat and ask for, unless you already have one. If you don't, okay. Last question. What is a dragonfly candle? Who knows what is a dragonfly candle? Let's find together one. See if we can make it. Who can find, guys, a dragonfly candle? I already see some. On the charts. If you, let me change the crosshair. If you can tell me the date approximately, let's do it this way. Okay, guys, what exactly does that mean? Those kind of candles. What does that mean? Let's change 2 weeks. Maybe it will indicate a bit better. Yeah, that's not bad. Oh, that's much more difficult than oh, there we go. Okay, now each and every candle is 1 week. Now my question is, where can I find a dragonfly candle, and what exactly does it mean? It's like a hammer. Matt, you're saying that it's like a hammer. Which hammer? What hammer? Where? Let's find the differences, okay? We're gonna have this rectangle. And then we'll see what is the difference. Where else? Okay, who can tell me what is so special about those candles? Let's see if we change that to the line. Anybody can tell me what is so special about those candles, and how can they possibly help us? What is this dragonfly candle? Dragonfly, what is? I don't know if you see, okay? What I'm gonna show you now. See, let's take this guy as an example. Over here, who knows what happened during Remember that we said that each candle here is a week. That means that that in each and every candle here, making that structure made out of 7 days. So for instance, if I want to look at this candle in particular, let's mark it in like this kind of line. We'll make it turquoise or something this way. There we go. Okay. You see what happened here. Let's look at it together. Let's look at it together. What has happened here, guys? What has happened here? Let's see. Who knows? Okay, who can explain what happened? It went up and then down. No, I don't think this is the case. Down and then up, right? Down and then up. It went down. We thought that it's going to go even lower, but it didn't, right? Something fundamental must have happened here during those times. Okay, who knows what happened during those times? Guys, who knows what happened during those times? It's very it was on the news. Anybody knows? The war. The war happened on the 7th. That's something else. There is a war going on now, right? In the Middle East, and this war started later on, which you can see how gold responded to the situation with the dollar, because U.S. supported Israel, and that had an impact on the dollar. Okay, you can see, but you can see here that during that week, see those poor little candles? It wasn't bearish, it wasn't bullish. It was this way. Who can tell me what this means? After you see that, what does it mean if it reaches that? How many days in a row? You see, it didn't pass, it didn't climb, and it didn't go down any lower than 1835 and 1810. What exactly does that mean? From the outside, it looked like what? It looked like a dragonfly, right? We're just missing, oh, where was I? We were looking at weeks. Sorry. It was this guy. So from the outside, it looks, let's get rid of everything. See, from the outside, it looks a little bit like a dragonfly. Let's put wings on it. Put wings here and over here. See, it has this little head here, the tail, and then you have the candle itself. This is a very tiny, thin, tiny dragonfly, which shows the retracement. It reached that level. It didn't go any lower than this point. Look, I want you to see, guys, at these levels, it consolidated around the levels that we spoke about, and it didn't go any lower than that. When it did go lower, it always went back. It always you see, it always went back to the same levels, right? If it would have gone any lower than that, we could assume that this is a sell, or if it would turn around, we could assume that this is a buy. But it happened when? Why is this? Who knows why this candle here is blank? Why is it blank? Why isn't it green or red or something? Why this one is blank? Because this is over the weekend. Because it's over the weekend, we understand that during this week something exceptional happened. So it consolidated this way, right? There was uncertainty in the market. And then it started rising. Right? And we see here that there was a trend. But what can we expect from a candle that looks like that? We can expect, you see, it happened here, it turned around. Where else? Here, you see, it's not really a dragonfly, it's something else. Where else? In here, right? It went up, but it couldn't stay, then it went down. As you can see, it didn't go down significantly. This is a hammer. This is not a dragonfly. What's the difference between the dragonfly and a hammer? What's the difference? That in a hammer, the consolidation area is more. In a dragonfly candle is tighter, right? The consolidation area is tighter, as you can see, and in here, it's a little wider. It's a little more expand. You have a little more room, but still it can mislead us. It can tell us, listen, it goes down, but eventually it can bounce back up. Now, if, okay, a candle that looks like that is been followed by a red candle, we can assume it goes down. But followed by a vice versa, we have a hammer here and a hammer there, and we have a beginning of a structure, we can assume that it will turn around. Okay? Again, as I said in the disclosure, we can have, a series of candles. You see, dragonflies one by one, and they're going to mislead us. They're going to consolidate still. They're not going to create a trend that we think, right? It could happen. Look, this could say, I could think that it could possibly go down, but it was followed by a green candle. So a candle by itself doesn't mean anything. It does if you connect it to a structure or if you connect it to something fundamental. If you see a candle looking in a certain form and you read the news, you understand what's happening, and it makes sense, it could help your analysis. Okay, but a candle by itself with no connection to anything and solely on its shape, that's not something that I would rely purely and entirely. Okay, because formation is usually made out of few candles and not just one. Because if I see one green candle, it's not a legitimate reason for a buy, right? Okay. Okay. Dragonfly candle is a common possible reversal candle. Casually can be found near support or resistance. It's not really, it's just the name. The name makes it cool. But overall, it's not really too crazy. Okay, I guess the dose. Do we have any questions though? Any questions about anything that I've explained so far? Anything that I said in the beginning, or something in this segment, or the last question that I answered? Anything at all that didn't make sense or needed a recap? Okay, let's carry on. Mitchell, you're asking if I give private license, but as you see, to get private lessons, you don't have to ask for anybody special, because your account manager can give you that. Your account manager can give you that, and I'm about to give you exactly that in a minute with the code at the end of the webinar. So it's really less relevant if I give private lessons, but you can get yourself private lessons from your senior account manager. Absolutely. Let me share with you the links here. We're gonna do that through the chat. I'm gonna send it to you over the chat. Just a second. Okay, so I've sent you those links. Here we have the link for the more education. By the way, you can get there from here. You see tutorials and academy. If I'll click on tutorials, it's going to show me this lovely list with all kind of videos which I can just watch whenever I want, whenever I need, right? And then I can go through the things here. I have also the academy. It's super, super helpful, and it's free content, so why not to try? This is login and deposit, because yesterday we had somebody asking how to make a deposit. So this is how you make a deposit. FEC and Help Centre, this is for perhaps more formal things, could be. Although you can ask the customer service, but again, this is for self service. This is our real account. We have a question from George. Being a market maker, does AvaTrade take the other side of the customer trade? Well, you can check it in our licensing. And see that it works in a very fair way. Okay, I'm not gonna elaborate too much. In our licensing, it's explained in a very straightforward manner way. You can read all about it there. I don't think that this is the time to explain about it now. Yeah, it's basically my answer about that. Okay, or again, your senior account manager, I'm sure he can provide you with a very comprehensive answer to that question. This is for a real account. This link leads you to a real account if you don't want to play with the demo anymore. And this is, like I said, the academy. You can also get there from here, right? If we do this, it's going to take us to the academy page. And lastly, the promotion which I'm going to give you now. And this promotion is for what Mitchell was asking, for a private, for a personal one-on-one premium market review. So that's what I'm going to send to you over the chat. And what you should give to your senior account manager is the Q&A benefit to get the one-on-one premium market review. And that's basically it, guys. That's basically it. It's been a pleasure. I hope that everybody enjoyed. Take the code, copy and paste the code so it won't get lost. And I'll see you in a week. By then, I wish you all great profits. Succeed with your trading as much as possible. And have a good week. Thank you very much.